got the Cowboys, where Jerry Jones in his Tuesday spot, where he's been quite combative with a couple of local radio hosts, he this week took a much sunnier way of looking at it, saying we can have a storybook ending to the season. And then the next 4 games, you look at the story there, and it's quite the book, with at Atlanta, home for Philly, then the Monday nighter home against Houston, at Washington. It would be very helpful to get Micah Parsons, Tank Lawrence, and Deron Bland back at any point over the next month. What's that possibility looking like, Tom?
Well, Deron Bland's been activated from injured reserve. He was getting close the last couple of weeks. We'll see whether or not that equates into him playing some role for them on Sunday, because they've definitely missed him. Trayvon Diggs is dealing with a calf injury, has not practiced this week, so another potential hit to that secondary. Jerry called it a tear. Tear is the same thing as a strain. How significant is it? We don't have total clarity on that, but it doesn't sound like it's anything long term for Trayvon Diggs. With Micah Parsons, they were hopeful that he was going to be back for this game, if not the last game, but that's an injury that's kind of lingered here for him, and DeMarcus Lawrence is still a little ways out as well. So they've got to find a way to put it together defensively in the short term. They have, it should be noted, played a lot better for whatever reason on the road than they have at home this year. So going into Atlanta, a team that's played pretty well and they've won games, but I don't think that the Falcons are blowing anybody away at this point in the season here. You look at the rest of that schedule. Yeah, it's treacherous, but what jumps out at me is they still got 2 against Washington. They still got 2 against Philadelphia, the 2 primary opponents they've got in the NFC East. And that's what happened last year, Rich. You remember it was, it's over. The Eagles have won the division, but they still had those remaining games. And what do you know? The Cowboys made their run at the end and ended up, winning that division and getting into the playoffs, where clearly it did not go well in that game against the Packers here. To me, a lot of this boils down to something that I always think about, which is your best players and your most expensive players have to play their best, or you're not going to win. You're just not going to win a lot in the NFL. For the past several weeks here, and going back all the way to the season on offense, Micah Parsons has not been out there, and Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb have not played their best. You saw flashes of it last week where they hooked up a couple of times for scores. That seemed like progress on that. They still don't really have a great semblance of a run game, which is a big thing for Mike McCarthy, for how he wants to be multiple on offense and be balanced and run play action. They've got to find that, but they're probably not making, I could be wrong on this. Again, you rule out nothing going up to the trade deadline. I don't see them going out and making some high profile trade and giving a high pick for a running back here. They've got to find a way to generate it. And you're also hoping that the 5 rookies that they've been starting this season are going to take steps forward here and play better the back half of the season than they did the first half.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku Channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.